Hey everyone, welcome to the RSP Film Room. I'm Matt Waldman with the Rookie Scouting Portfolio. Today's episode is on quarterback Vernon Adams Jr., the Oregon starter, 6'1", 190-pound quarterback who has played 1 year at Oregon to replace Marcus Mariota. He signed a scholarship letter this summer after 3 years at Eastern Oregon. You're going to see a guy with a good arm, someone who's capable of maneuvering the pocket under pressure and being able to make big plays for his team. And I like that mentality about him. What I want you to take a look at in this episode is really some of the things that I think that will make him a good prospect for the NFL as a reserve player with some developmental potential who might be able to fit with some specific teams as he matures. Um, and then we're going to look at some of the good as well as some of the things that he needs to improve upon. And hopefully through this examination, you'll also see a little bit more about how I evaluate quarterback play in general. So without any more of this intro, we're going to take a look at Adams' play against Washington. And we're going to examine a number of things. One of the first things that I often look at when I'm watching quarterback play is you want to look at down and distance situation, score of the game, field position, and also what type of defense that the opponent is playing here. And you're going to see this defense or variations of this defensive alignment very often in this game, and it's generally what I would call you have two down linemen, four linebackers. It kind of forms more of a nickel look. If these linebackers were playing traditional end with the arm down on the ground, then you would probably have what would look like a 4-2 look. Instead, you're kind of getting a 2-4 look with five defensive backs and this high safety in the middle of the field, which is you're going to see a lot from Washington in this game. And they're going to vary their coverage with either one of the outside receivers getting tight man coverage or both getting tight man coverage, but a lot of zone over the middle with the man corner following one of these receivers. You're going to see that a little bit later on in this game. But first, let's examine some of what we can see that's pretty apparent about Adams' skill sets, regardless of what he's facing defensively here. And the first thing is pocket presence. I'm a fan of how he climbs the pocket. We're going to watch this right away with both outside men blitzing. And you see a three-step drop, and immediately he climbs a few steps here. And watch how he does it. You're going to see him shuffle his feet. Three nice shuffle steps, kind of hard, violent steps to climb the pocket. And they're all controlled. I like that. And I think he anticipates the pressure a little bit about right here. I think he kind of feels this outside pressure just enough that he doesn't want to wait. And I also think that he climbs the pocket because he wants to put a little pressure on these underneath men to move them upwards so maybe he can get one of his receivers to come open in this zone. So you see him climb the pocket right here, three controlled steps. He's always got his feet under him, and he's looking from the tight end. This tight end, you're going to see this tight end here, I believe, come across. He's looking at this tight end coming across, and he sees that it's going to be a tight zone. So he climbs a few steps, and he turns to his right, and that climbing actually opens the field a little bit for this outside receiver, and you'll see what happens. This outside receiver right here is pretty well covered in this space, but he knows that the receiver is going to continue to break over to the left. And if he can continue to climb, this safety in the middle is going to continue to work towards the tight end. So it's really nice eye manipulation and buying time and then turning back to this backside receiver and finding him wide open here. Now the receiver drops the ball, and you notice that the ball's behind him a little bit. Some people are going to look at this and say, oh, he wasn't very accurate. He needs to reset his feet a little bit more. What's he doing mechanically that he caused the ball to throw it to the outside, to this back shoulder? I think they're missing the point here. I would look at this and say this is a very good throw. It's the mechanics are fine enough. It's actually the placement that he wants because he has the defensive back on the downfield shoulder, and Adams is trying to throw it to the back shoulder so that he can give his receiver room to catch and turn upfield. So I like this throw. I like this decision. I think that he's actually anticipating where the receiver should be running, and the receiver should trust Adams to be able to turn and run with the ball in the direction that Adams is leading him. Now, that's something that we would want to communicate, see whether or not the receiver and the quarterback are communicating on this level in practice. But based on what I'm seeing with the position here, it was a good throw. It happens to be dropped, but the way that he climbed the pocket was excellent. The way that he looked off the middle receiver and the safety and then hit the backside receiver, very well done. So there's another play under pressure. Watch him move out to the right and ends up throwing a touchdown. Well, not a touchdown on this play, but a deep throw covering over 30 yards, really closer to 40. So let's take a look at this play one more time. You see a three-step drop, decent setting. He's looking to this two-man route combination on this side, but you're going to have to feel this interior pressure, and he does. It gets close enough that he's patient to wait for this man to break, but I don't think he likes what he sees with this underneath man in zone. And this is all happening really fast. And when he feels this interior pressure coming, he tries to slide and climb up. But, this defensive end on the right tackle, he's not looking at that. He's not feeling that right away until he takes that first step. And when he does, he's athletic enough to take that step as if he's going to climb, feel that outside pressure combining with the interior pressure, and slide outside. Very nice little footwork. That's where athleticism comes into play. You see how quick that he is. He directs his receiver, points him to go downfield, delivers the ball from the 11 on the move all the way to the 44. So you're looking at really a 45 yard, about a 45 yard throw from pitch to catch. Not bad at all. Hits him in stride. Now is this a perfect NFL throw? Not at all. And that's something that, you might say this is nitpicking, but this is the difference between a really good NFL starter and an NFL contributor at this point, this throw here. And there are lots of little things that are going to be the difference. It doesn't mean that every single thing that I'm going to list out and being the difference between an NFL starter and a contributor means that NFL starters all do this, because NFL starters make bad throws all the time. But what I'm saying is that if consistently we start seeing this on tape, where Adams throws the ball like this, where he leads the receiver well, hits him in the back shoulder, but if this coverage were tighter, it would probably be knocked away. So it's a very good throw. It's just not. It's a great throw by college standards. It's not a pinpoint accurate throw by NFL standards. It's an accurate enough throw. That's how I would put it. So it's a good play. It certainly shows you the NFL caliber arm, ability to do it on the move, skill to be able to get away from pressure. Very nice stuff. We're going to see another one pretty soon too. A little bit of a read option set up here with the fake. He's looking to the left to his open receiver. Doesn't like what he sees there in terms of nobody really breaking open. He's got a little bit of a breaking open here, but it's 3rd and 10. Why are you going to throw this ball right here on 3rd and 10? There's really nothing there. You're seeing this three-man zone, so if he's looking at the receiver up the left hash, it's a pretty tight window he's going to have to try and throw over, and that's a pretty hard one to do for anybody. And he's considering it, but when he starts to feel that interior pressure, he slides to his right, and he knows that when he slides to his right after he's looking to his left so much, that although we can't see him on the screen, the high safety has slid over to the left side. So the minute that Adams slides right, he knows he's got a one-on-one, and he sets his feet well, delivers the ball from the 42 into the end zone about 4 or 5 yards deep. So we're looking at about a 47-yard throw after he slides to the right and resets. And again, not a pinpoint perfect throw. The receiver has to wait on the ball a little bit to make the catch, and it's almost a contested catch. But at the same time, Adams knows he has a one-on-one, and he puts it where it needs to be at this stage of it. Maybe in the pros, it would need to be a little bit of a sharper throw or over the shoulder of the receiver so that he can box out the defender by just running and keeping his back to him and just letting the ball come over top and dropping it. That's something that Adams is going to have to work on a little bit with his deep game. We saw in some of the highlights that he can do it, but he's got to be a little more consistent. But what this play shows me is intelligence, football intelligence, to understand that he's being patient with this three-man route combination. That's forcing the safety up and to the left, and that the minute he moves right, he knows what he's got, and he doesn't hesitate. This is an aggressive play, and it pays off. Once again, two aggressive plays in the first three that we've seen. You want that from an NFL quarterback, especially a starting quarterback. You want a guy that, if he's in trouble, the first thing that he's looking for is the opportunity to attack downfield if something's already taken up. If it's not, there's going to be times you want him to check down. And this is something that I haven't seen a lot of Adams do, which is, checking down and taking the smaller play. But in these situations, early in the game, with good field position, where the worst case scenario here is that they're going to punt and or throw an interception, and it's going to be the equivalent of punt in this down and distance situation at this part of the field. This is the perfect time to throw the ball deep. So again, it's about decision making. Quarterbacking is about leadership and decision making and managing the game. And these are the times that you want a quarterback to be aggressive. So let's go ahead and look to mid first quarter. Now they're back in their deep in their own territory once again. These are some of the set plays we often saw from Oregon, even during the Mariota days, which is just, it's a wide route to this running back. It's just an extension of the run game. But he gets rid of the ball fast. He gives his running back a chance to make the catch. It's a little behind him, but it's not an egregiously bad throw. It's a solid throw. So we'll move on to these 2-by-2 receiver sets. One stacked on the left, the other was one stacked on the right, and this one was just tight together. And I like this play. Again, this is about being smart. He doesn't gain much. He only gets a yard here. He feels the pressure to this side. He climbs it immediately when he feels that he's not going to be able to just climb and throw. He takes off and runs, and he knows that he doesn't want to take punishment. He gets under the hits, takes a minimal amount of punishment. It's 3rd and 6. They have a lead. They're deep in their own territory. Just take what you can get, punt the football. That's what they end up doing in that situation. Now this is a fun little play. The pass is dropped, and it's hard enough to see for me that I wonder if he even got there accurately. But another 2-by-2 formation. You're going to see him do the read option fake, look to his left, feel this backside pressure here, and slide to the left, and know that he's got to get rid of the ball because he's got interior pressure coming too. He thinks very fast, and he processes information very well from the pocket. And when he throws that ball, it's just a flick of the wrist. It's off balanced, and you want to see whether a quarterback can make these off balance throws with some velocity and accuracy. He gets rid of the ball very fast there. It just distributes it kind of like a point guard with a little, almost like a no look pass, though he is looking here. It's just very quick. Can't tell if the ball really got there or if this cornerback playing underneath cuts off the route. And I think he cuts off the ball here and tips it away. It's a really nice play. but by the defense. But I also think that it's an equally good play from Adams to be able to get the ball within range. So it didn't work out, but I admire what he did there, and it just shows you that he's capable of improvising well in a variety of ways, and that's important in the NFL. You need that improvisational skill, whether it's the playground skill of a Ben Roethlisberger or it's more of a point guard mentality of a Teddy Bridgewater. Um, you know, both both are very important to be able to have, and if you have good surrounding talent and you have other skills that you bring to the table, it's going to make you successful on Sundays. Here's another one where he avoids the pressure. He looks downfield, and this time he slides a little late and takes a hit. But I like again how he avoids pressure. Takes that three-step drop. He feels that pressure to the right. He knows that the interior pressure is coming. He can see that. Works around that outside pressure, and he's looking to throw. That's the first thing he's doing. You can see that when he realizes he's not going to get what he wants, he tucks and runs and then slides a little bit late here. At his size, he can't take a lot of punishment. You don't want any quarterback taking punishment, but at 190 pounds, teams are going to be extra worried about that, and they're going to use that as a reason. I would even call it sometimes an excuse not to give a player with skill an opportunity to truly develop into a potential starter. They might write him off before they even give him a shot to play because of his size. It's just something that's been happening in the NFL. We have some notable exceptions, but as you can tell, there's only three or four teams that are allowing those types of exceptions to occur where they're giving these guys chances. It's not many. It's about 10% of the league, if not, if that. And this is another excellent play. This is an example of patience. You want a quarterback to show patience in the pocket because we've seen him move outside. We've seen him climb the pocket. We've seen him move to pressure and recognize it early and make the adjustment that he needs to. And good pocket presence is understanding when to move early and when to show patience. And that's a very difficult thing to do. It's why quarterbacking is so hard to evaluate as well because there's so many different contingencies and situations that you have to feel out. Um, and this is a great example of that. You have the defense showing middle pressure. He feels it just enough. Let's see if we can show you where he feels a little bit. Feels it just enough right here that he's going to, looks like he's going to move to his right and slide away. And he does, but he delivers that ball, slides away, and still stays, keeps his eyes downfield and delivers that ball over these defenders to his receiver in the flat. And he's waiting for that receiver to come open. That's what I like. It's an opposite hash throw. It's got good zip on it. Gives the receiver time to work downfield. He actually throws the ball to the outside shoulder a little bit. Another heady play. Now we're into the second quarter. And this is, we got our first sack. We're going to see a couple of sacks in this game. But just because the result is bad doesn't mean the process is. And it's important always to look at the process. What we're looking at for a quarterback when it comes to how does he handle pressure, first you want to see if he senses it. Of course he senses it right here. He feels these defenders coming, and you see him try to climb. And is he climbing correctly? I think so. You see the feet shuffle upward. He just happens to get wrapped around the jersey, and it pulls him off balance. And there's not much he can do there. I mean, he tries to get away from this guy right here, and he even ducks. He's even, I mean, he's spinning, and I think the spin allows him, kind of makes him duck just because of the momentum. I don't think he's seeing this backside defender and ducking under him, but he happens to have that opportunity, but he can't get away. It's a bad result, but he tries to do the right thing by climbing and even reducing the shoulder a little bit away from this defender. But just as he reduces it, he's getting grabbed and it just pulls him completely off balance. Those things happen. I like that he held on to the ball. The ball protection wasn't great there, but at the same time, he wasn't looking to be jerked behind like that, and that kind of made his arm wave a little wildly. At least he held on. Another good play under pressure. You're seeing that he's got dealing with pressure a lot in this game, and he doesn't seem to be wilting from it at all. When he's getting pressure up the middle, first he stops and you think he might try to climb here, which is what you'd like to see oftentimes, but it's a little bit too narrow of a gap. He realizes that, stops his feet, turns to his left, and he knows he has this open check down here. He does a really nice job still of squaring his shoulders as quick as he can. It's an awkward throw from an off balance situation. But as Dan Marino often talked about, if he would do a workout, these are the types of throws that he would make quarterbacks throw from. Awkward angles. Can they make these types of throws with accuracy from the opposite hash, with some velocity, with placement? It's a short throw, but again, look at the situation. 2nd and 5, right? He gets tackled, but now we're looking at 3rd and 3. 3rd and 3 on this play now. That's what the next play that he just set up here. Instead of taking a sack and making it 3rd and 12, he gets 3rd and 3. That's exactly what you want. Most of quarterbacking is game management. You just want them to be able to manage the game until they find the right opportunities to make huge plays and be aggressive. You have to pick those spots, though. Probably only, you know, in a game, maybe 4 to 6 spots are the 4 to 6 times in a game where you're going to be able to pick a spot and really make a big play, or at least have the opportunity to. If you make them all in 4 to 6 opportunities, you're probably leading your team to a blowout victory of the defense of the opposition. If you do, maybe 2 or 3, you're probably ahead by, a touchdown, 10 points, somewhere between 7 to 14 points, I would bet, more often than that. Here's an inaccurate throw, if I can speak. And so when we look at this throw, 3-step drop, he looks to his right, he feels some pressure, but he wants to wait, and his feet are a little too wide here. He just never really fully set his feet, and I think he got impatient, and when he steps, he throws off that front foot, and it's a very stiff front foot. And I think that he's unable to come all the way around. It suffers, his accuracy suffers, and the ball's a little too high. It's tipped, and fortunately not intercepted. So he doesn't want to rush his process. That's something that he's going to have to work on a little bit. Is that he can rush his process a little bit in certain situations, not completely follow through. But we see even Aaron Rodgers do it on certain plays, or Carson Palmer. Carson Palmer made a horrible play in the playoffs last weekend where he rushed his process, didn't fully get his body around, and threw an interception in the red zone. It happens. Pressure does that to you. Um, Difficult game situations do that to you. Um, so players make mistakes. You just don't want them to make too many. So far, from what we've seen of Adams, he hasn't made a lot of mistakes. He's actually made some good plays, and he's got his team ahead. This play is another nice bit of awareness. It ends up being a dropped pass from Braylon Addison. It's a tough play for Addison, but this is a heady play for Adams. You're going to see the two interior linemen, actually all three, cut just drop down to try and cut their defenders. This is to be a quick hitting play for Adams over the middle. But Adams notices right away that he doesn't get the open receiver that he hopes for. He knows that his interior linemen are cut blocking. So rather than waiting for pressure to come to him when it might be too late, he immediately stops and turns to his left, gets his shoulder around, and throws the ball on the out. This is a nice out route in terms of like nice throw on the out route. The receiver does come back to the ball. He does a good job there. He gets his hands on it. It's thrown only where the receiver can catch it, to the outside shoulder, well within bounds. But when the defender trailing makes contact, he jars the ball loose and it's incomplete. Good throw, though. Good decision. Nothing I could complain about with Adams. If anything, I'd be praising him about it. Another read option fake. I don't like how he drops his shoulders when he feels the pressure on this play, but notice that his eyes are still downfield, so it's not a huge deal. He tries to hop and climb forward a little bit, but he runs straight into this interior defender, looping around. He doesn't see that, but I like how he's able to stick out his arm, use a little bit of a stiff arm, keep his balance, and run out to the right, direct his receiver downfield. And this is a heck of a throw because you're talking about him throwing the ball on the move, sliding to his right while he's taking a hit from his 47 up the seam to the 22. So we're looking at, you know, really at this point, a 28 3, I mean, we're looking at over a 30-yard throw on the move, sliding to your right while you're getting hit with anticipation to lead the receiver into the open space and on time to where he does take a pretty big hit there. But he has plenty of time to protect himself when he makes the catch here. Well, maybe not plenty, but it's a tough catch, but it's a really good throw. He puts it right where he needs to. And again, we've seen multiple throws moving left, moving right, under pressure, off balance, and delivering with decent velocity as well as touch. This one has good velocity on it. It's not a laser beam, but it gets there on time. So late in the second quarter. This is just a nice short throw. You want to see that, but it's from the opposite hash. Back shoulder gives the receiver room to turn and run, get upfield. First down. Time, stop the clock. It's all good. This is the second sack of the game. And I think that he just overestimated his athletic ability. Feels the pressure up the middle. He looked like he was considering someone to throw to right about here, right there. The defender reaches in, and he's just unable to get away. You want to see, there are going to be times where when you have a quarterback of his mobility and his athletic ability, that he might overestimate what he can do rather than throw the ball away. But he's made multiple plays that have gotten them into good situations. Sometimes you're going to have to live a little bit with some of these plays as long as they aren't egregious and hurting the team in terms of giving the ball back at the wrong time um, or creating turnovers. Another just sweet play. I mean, you getting me here with Vernon Adams? You getting why I like this guy? You get this pressure. Interior pressure is always the most difficult for a quarterback, and repeatedly we're seeing Adams handle this pressure. He's either climbing through it, he's either spinning to the outside and setting his feet, or he's sliding in a direction, resetting and throwing and making throws with accuracy, making throws with guys bearing down on him, taking hits. And he's also making these adjustments fairly late. And you want him to give the defender at least uh, get within a step of him so that he can move out of the way and make that defender commit to a move to dive in one direction so that once he does, the quarterback does move out of the way of the defender, he only has to do it once because now the defender's left his feet. Nice job climbing, looking downfield. I mean, again, athletic move to move away, resets how his feet are. I mean, it's not perfect here. You're looking at a pretty wide stance, but he's trying to get his feet under him to be in a throwing position, and he does that. He's got the ball back up, and he delivers that ball from the 39 all the way to what, the 19. So you're looking at a 21, 11, 32-yard throw from pitch to catch. And yeah, if he could have thrown this ball a little more to the inside, the receiver scores. But after dealing with the pressure and climbing away and throwing on the move where he's already got a defender bearing down on him, I'd say a 32-yard throw moving to your left after you've dealt with that pressure and getting it where the receiver can make the catch and get within field goal position with 19 seconds left. I'm not going to be flipping out over that and saying it should have been a touchdown. While it would have been nice. Now it's 13, it's still 13-3. You got the lead, 18 seconds left in the red zone. You have what amounts to be a little bit of confusion about where this receiver should break. Looks like he tried to break too early here. Ball was probably at least a good 3 or 4 steps away from the sideline. I think that's on the receiver. Another good play that just doesn't end well. You got your drop, you feel your pressure up front. Now you watch him reduce that right shoulder away from the defender coming up the middle, buys time, gets that shoulder around again, and throws the ball only where this receiver breaking towards the corner can make the play. It's high, it's a little behind the receiver. If he could have gotten it accurate, probably be a score. But it's not bad. And Oregon still scores here. It's 16-6. They extend the lead to 10. So now we're in the early third quarter. Three-step drop, slide a little bit to the left, feels the pressure coming. I would still count this as interior pressure because it's an interior lineman. He's getting a push up the middle. Then he comes outside that defender, but it's a good job of Adams sliding around, climbing upfield. And at this point, I still think he's looking. He's got his hands on the ball in a throwing position. He's got his hips downfield looking for a receiver. But he's thinking about running. But I like how he stretches that out just a little bit more. And now you're going to see some speed in action. He is not a Robert Griffin burner, but he is quick enough to make these types of plays against defensive backs, turning the corner on them and getting the first down. It's a 15-yard gain. So we're not looking at a guy who may break 40-yard runs on a regular basis if the defense lets him. But he is going to make first downs in the league because he has that kind of quickness. Very nice play. Here we go with the screen pass. Oregon likes to look one direction and throw the other. You're going to see that with Adams here. He's going to act out this play the way they want him to. He looks to the left, then he turns back to the right, delivers that pass a little off his back foot, but he leads the receiver downfield, hits him in that front shoulder. It's a pretty throw off your back foot like that. That leads the receiver downfield to get the first down. Talking about 13-yard gain on that play. Sets up a nice play inside Oregon territory, and he hits the quick hidden route between the zone defenders. Front shoulder. Receiver is able to make the play, take the hit. Still a completed pass. I like these types of quick decisions. I mean, this is one step drop. It's really a hop, pivot his feet. They're in a good enough position from the throw. You need that. You need that variety of footwork. I love this placement. It doesn't look like good placement, but take a look at it one more time. Got the slant. Look at the receivers. I mean, look at the defenders. They're coming over top. I think the quarterback anticipates that the receiver is going to get cut off over top, so he throws it behind. Again, maybe not the picture perfect throw. Maybe he should have let it a little bit, but I think the quarterback was trying to give the receivers much opportunity to make the catch without it being an interception. I liked it. Might be overthinking it. I would admit to that if it turns out that that wasn't remotely the case. But I have a feeling it was. I've seen enough plays where I think that Adams actually reacted to that and made that type of a placement. This is a nice touchdown. Again, in the red zone, you're talking about compressed decisions. Means that you have to think about where your placement's going to be, like the last play. You have to make quick decisions oftentimes. And if you're going to buy time, like this one, he was looking for this defender who's being covered by this receiver being covered by two defenders over top, realizes that's not going to be there, slides away from the pocket looking right, tells his man to come back to the sideline, delivers the ball. It's all good. Nice velocity. That's what you want. Quick decisions. Three-step drop, looking left, has to climb the pocket. Tackled for no gain on this run. But again, it's 1st and 10. You're up 23-6. Don't try and be a hero. Don't try and take a huge hit. Just take what you can get and get to the ground. And that's what he does. And see, this is a nice play. We're looking at a slant. 3 steps off of a play fake. Throws off his back foot with the defender near his feet. Hits that receiver in stride. Allows him to split the defense and gain over 20 yards on the play. Another red zone play. Not a great throw. This is a throw he probably wants to have back, even though it was a good result. Got the read option fake, moves to his left, squares just enough, but maybe not as. He squares a little, but maybe not enough on this play. Ball's a little high, leads the receiver into the defender. Receiver makes a nice catch, takes the hit. 5 yard gain, but this could have easily been a pick six if it's not, if the receiver doesn't catch the ball or if, the ball is just a little bit off target. Simple, simple wide route thrown to the correct shoulder gives the RB room to run. Up by 10. And this is a sweet little play. I mean, this just shows you some of the ball handling ability. I really thought he handed the ball off to this runner. The way it's acted out, really nicely acted out. But meanwhile, we've got our man working to the left side. And just as he reaches the line of scrimmage, he makes a pretty long pass. And we're talking about a 5, 6 yard pass. And gives his receiver the opportunity to get the first down. Another screen pass. He leads too far. Again, rushes the process a little bit. Didn't completely get turned around when he threw that ball. The ball's there, then he's fully turned. Ends up throwing a little high. He's going to have to be careful on some of these. This is where I get a little concerned about our man. They're up 23-3. It's 11:35 in the fourth quarter. They're in Washington territory. You want to put the dagger in, so you want to have some level of aggression, but you don't want to get so aggressive that you're going to give up the opportunity um, to keep the ball, to get a safe field goal, to run some timeout. These are things that you want to have happen, but you end up having a fumbled exchange. Not a bad thing. I mean, it's a bad thing, but it happens. It's not a killer. But this next play, it's second and 12. Is he going to make up for it, or is he going to slump a little bit? Got that read option fake. He's looking to his right, feels some of the pressure around, and he tries to force the ball under this zone. And let's take a look at it from the receiver's point of view. This receiver's facing this outside coverage. He tries to work around, and what he doesn't realize is he's going to have, he's going to have underneath coverage. Let's see if I can find that again. There it is. It's going to find underneath coverage. This isn't it. All right, let's see if I can find it one more time. Sorry, folks. Things happen late at night here. All right, so he feels it, tries to throw it. He ends up throwing it into a bracketed zone. Because the receiver comes around, and I don't think the quarterback either. I think the quarterback thinks that this underneath defender is either biting on the outside route, or he's just trying to be too daring here and fit it. And why is he going to do that? It's second and 12. They don't need to try and get the first down right away. They're up by 10. There's 11 minutes left in this game, and they've got good field position. This isn't the kind of throw you want to make here. So either he misread the zone or he was too aggressive. Nicely, he gives a little pump fake. It's not violent, but it's got some range of motion. I like that he does that. It's a nice little manipulation of this outside route. He's looking at this outside. Well, did it again. Let's see here. Here we go. He's looking at the outside route. Gives a little pump fake. Goes back looking to the left. And then fires that ball downfield on the deep cross. And he does it while getting hit. So we're looking at a ball thrown from the 43 to the 8, a 35-yard throw. It's a 35-yard throw in the middle of the field. Man bearing down on him. In stride. Good zip, enough time to get it between two defenders. Defender gives the hit. Ends up getting a penalty for it. And it was first and goal at one point. Two runs didn't work out quite well. So now you're looking at third and goal from the 7. You've got blitzers coming from the inside here. Does a good job of retreating away and delivering the ball. But his receiver doesn't track it all that well. Isn't in position to make it even if the ball was close in bounds. But he throws it only where the receiver has a chance to get it. I like that. I like the fact that the play before, even though he made two kind of boneheaded plays, he comes back and fires a shot. So I like that he doesn't shy away after he makes mistakes, and I still think that the game's not too big for him and he doesn't shrink from it. Even here. once again, this is, I think, the third play where he tries to make an adjustment on the move and run and throw it in accurately in that short, intermediate, kind of that short range of the field. It's got to get a little bit better there. I think he rushes his process some. But again, you see him try to climb up the middle. I like that he tries to climb up the middle on this little sprint left, feels that pressure, tries to climb, realizes that he's going to get cut off. He's quick enough to get around. We see that repeatedly in this game. He just throws a little bit behind the receiver. So that's Vernon Adams in a nutshell here. I think that what you're going to find from him on a whole is someone who I think that can impress a team as a developmental player. And the reason I say developmental is I need to see him make more decisions pre-snap. I need to see him show the skill to make certain check downs at points in the game where he doesn't. I want to see a little bit more from him in the deep passing game with the arm. This is an example of what we saw here, where he's not letting the receiver wait on the ball as much. So there's a lot to like though, and I think that this gives you an opportunity to see a first year, major college starter who really only, he's shown some good work at Eastern Washington. This is a guy who was a finalist for the Walter Payton Award. Um, so, good player, underrated player. Keep that in mind. Again, size is probably going to be the factor of how teams view him. As you can see, he's an aggressive player, and aggressive players often win out in the NFL. So keep an eye on Vernon Adams. I'm Matt Waldman. Thanks again for watching the RSP Boiler Room, or RSP Film Rooms. And for more episodes, check me out on www.mattwaldmanrsp.com or go to the RSP Film Room at YouTube, and you can subscribe there.